action. What's up? All right.
Howdy.
Howdy, everybody. Look at everyone's beautiful face. Can we just take a second to admire all the beautiful people on this live stream?
Hi.
We're very
I'm
excited.
gonna do the Katie.
Yeah, that's what Katie did.
Yeah. I'm Katie.
Oh shoot, I had the live. I remember I told you guys mute or pause. It was me. That's great. Room is building up. What's up, James? I like your profile pic.
Nice,
what's
James.
up, Kevin? What's up, Jay? All right, we got a lot of people in here. I'm going to feature everyone's comments in a second when we do the countdown. But first of all, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome. We are revealing all 5 Rarity skins of Luke. Nobody has seen these yet. The website does not have it yet. So you're going to see it here first, and we're very excited to show you. We have some new faces that have never been on the live stream, so I'm also excited to introduce them as well. So let's go ahead. We'll do a roundtable. Poof's favorite thing is to do popcorn. So let's do the popcorn introductions. I'll start off by saying I'm Steph Sudo, head of community and host of live streams, and I'm going to popcorn over to my co-host, Poof.
I am Poof, community manager for Cryptoids and On-Chain Studios. I will be in the chat with all of you having some fun. And yeah, let's do this. I'm going to popcorn over to Freddie.
Hello, my name is Freddie. I'm CCO for On-Chain Studios. I maintain the vision of all the visuals that we create in this company. And now I'm gonna popcorn to Jonathan.
Hey everyone, I'm Jonathan, an art director. I'm basically responsible for making sure all of our aesthetics stay in line with our brand goals and making sure everything looks really cute and very adorable. And I work with a lot of the really fantastic concept artists here, and which I'm going to introduce next, which is Wes.
Hey guys, I'm Wes. I'm a senior concept artist here at On-Chain. I helped flesh out a lot of the character designs.
Now you gotta pass it.
Popcorn.
There's always someone that forgets the
Pass
popcorn.
it.
Yeah.
Pablo.
Oh, me. Hey. Hi, I'm Pablo Maica. I'm the senior texture artist covering all the gray models. And I'm going to popcorn to Jeff.
Thank you, Luke. Pablo. I'm Jeff Brodsky. I am the character rigging supervisor at On-Chain. And basically, we take 3D models, we put puppets in them so that the animators can make them move and bring them to life. And I'm going to pass the popcorn to Alina.
Hi, I'm Elena. I'm character artist in our team, 3D character artist. So basically, I create character and pass it on Pablo and Jeff.
Pass it on to Pablo again. Pablo has 2 popcorns. I think we got everyone.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Okay, I just want to say shout out to everyone in the comments. And Wes, Jay Easy likes your background.
I mean, he's a man of good taste.
What's up, TVG? I want that hat, Freddie. Freddie knew that people were commenting about. He knew it.
How's it gonna come up?
I really knew it. Okay, Poof, shall we start the countdown?
Let's do it. Hit it. All right, let's get this party started. All right, who in the chat is ready to see some Luke rarities? And who guessed them? Who's in our Discord, by the way? Anyone in the chat in our Discord? Because Poof posted the silhouettes today in our Discord, and we tried to see if anyone, Poof, did anyone guess them right or no? We had some close guesses, so people were guessing TIE Fighter Luke, but Luke does not fly in TIE Fighters. TIE Fighters are the ones who go, wow, you know, as they fly by.
With that exact sound, too. That sounds exactly
Luke flies X-Wings. But we'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay. So nobody guessed it right. All right. So we're excited to reveal. By the way,
the team keeps getting bigger and bigger. We do have over 60 full-time team members, which is crazy. That's why we're always trying to rotate new team members in. So we're excited. And huge shout out to Jeff, Pablo, and Elena for making their first debut appearance on the show. We're super happy to have you. First time.
Good to be here.
All
And
right.
I'm excited to introduce all these artists too, because a lot of the hard work, like all the beautiful visuals that you guys get to see, are basically put together by all these wonderful people we have in the stream. And some of the ones that you guys saw last week, and some more that you will meet next week.
Awesome.
Let's do it. I'm excited.
Okay, so should we get started? Should we go for it?
Let's do it.
Hubert.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and start with, let me pull it up, our common Luke, which you have a 40% chance of getting Farm Boy Luke in your holocron.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum. Yes. So I like to talk a little bit about the process when it comes to getting to this state of, what you guys get to see and love. We start usually with concept art, which is 2D drawn. It's a lot easier to iterate through the looks of what we're going to create in 3D while we do it in 2D. After we go from 2D, we jump into 3D, most likely sculpting. There's a few programs that kind of do this. It's just almost like doing a clay sculpture, but all digitally. After that, we move on to texturing, rigging. Like Jeff was saying earlier, it's like putting a puppet inside the model so that you can pose it and move it. Then animation, special effects, and our wonderful technical artists put it all together into the game engine that then gives us the final result. So all that being said, I let Jonathan and Wes talk a little bit about what went into the concepts for getting to this character.
Yeah, like for sure. Like for every character design that we do, even like humanistic characters, we always start out with the Zuovo characters. Usually we like using Alfie as like our baseline. And through Alfie, we're trying to pull new characters out of that based on that aesthetic. So for Luke, we had to really use like the head shape and like the overall chonkiness of the fingers and the feet, and really just like trying to make that translate to a human form, and making sure like the aesthetics of the hair, like how chunky the hair pieces are, and the boots and everything, like it fits within that world. And then what we do is we'll do 2D turnarounds of usually like front, side, back. Sometimes we throw 3/4 in. At times we'll even do like a key art shot, just showing them in motion, just to see like what that would look like. And after that, it gets translated to like the 3D process. But in between all that too, we do a lot of like call outs for textures and all of that. So the rest of the team can kind of get a little bit of inspiration and kind of just bounce ideas off of us. And it's a very like collaborative process between all of us to get to the final product. And especially for Wes, like Wes dictated a lot of the very like the look of what all the cryptoids you see. So I want to pass it over to Wes and see what you have to say about this type of stuff.
Yeah, like mirroring what Jonathan was saying, we wanted to keep it cute, chonky. I think there's some attention to detail that we put of the actors as well. And I think we also try to pay a lot of attention to making sure the materials reflect how the movie presents. Which I want to give a shout out to the 3D team for doing an awesome job in doing.
So you guys should see Wes's monitor when he's starting to work on this. Like the main thing that we do is inspiration, right? So anytime he's starting a concept, you see his monitor. He has like 100 different images of Luke Skywalker, through all the movies with the different outfits to determine what the fabrics of the outfits are, and what the different angles of the faces are. Even Luke through the ages, which you guys will get to see a little bit of here, with the different rarities that we have. So, like Jonathan said, Wes is in charge of basically, getting that look and capturing that trade secret formula come in here, the chunkiness and the adorableness. Those are the two filters that we live by, and then we get this result. So Now that being said, concepts get done and then they go into modeling. This is where Olena shines, and she does an awesome job and basically bringing those 2D flat drawings into a 3D universe. So, Olena, want to tell us a little bit about what your experience was creating these characters?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. First of all, it was really cool to work with this concept, 2D concepts. I really love it. And so my job was to like recreate, make 3D out of 2D. And I started with the like basic model and then add likeness and details and make sure everything looks anatomically correct, but still stylize it and like cute like we like it. And yeah, that's what I do.
Looks really good.
So our artist is super humble, and everybody here is super talented. And what Olena does too, it's she grabs like this clay model that I was talking about earlier digitally, and then that basically becomes millions of polygons. We talked a little bit about this last time, where to create a curve in 3D space, basically you have one little square. If you want to make a curve, then you add another little square, a different angle, and so on and so on. The more polygons you have, the smoother the shape's going to be. So now for millions of polygons, Elena here has to restructure what that is in order to be able to animate and render. So she simplifies those shapes, and then the detail from what we call the high res then gets extrapolated to the low res, and then we end up with the character that we have that's a game ready model.
Wow, and this is Pablo, what Pablo is cosplaying right now, right? Pablo?
Yes.
Like literally copy paste Pablo. I mean, you're telling me we're not looking at, is this Pablo or is this farm boy Luke Skywalker?
So
just
and
side by side.
hey, and that's a good segue. So Pablo here takes care of creating textures for these characters. So if we zoom in, you can see the kind of detail that we create, that Pablo creates in.
Not too close.
Yes.
So you can see like the fabric and the detail of the fabric. Same thing with like the pores on the skin of the characters. The shine on certain areas of the hair. There's quite a bit of attention to detail that goes into this. You see like, the leather pattern, and there has to be a balance there too. So Pablo, you want to speak a little bit about your process here on texturing this guy?
Well, I mean, sure. Thank you. First off, I want to thank the art team and the supportive TDs who got me through it. There was a lot to learn, and I was excited to be a part of this project, especially starting with Luke. Elena did such a great job. It was definitely inspiring, but definitely I don't think I could have done this without everyone's help. So thank you.
Go, Pablo.
Pablo, what's the thread count? They want to know. What's the
Oh
thread
my God. I think it's Egyptian thread 2000. No,
Hey, as per the last live stream, look at that cotton.
Look at that cotton.
Yeah,
Amazing.
We still have the banner from Matt. Look at that cotton.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that detail.
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
So that being said, we don't have. We'll keep going through rarities here and keep talking about the process. The next one is for that lightsaber. We have quite a bit of detail built into it too. And we don't have the artists on this live stream that created these lightsabers. You guys will get to meet them in future live streams. But all the way from design to 3D. We took into account the actual saber that was used in the movies, and then from that movies, obviously, we have to adapt to our style based on the scales and the chunkiness of it all. But we're staying true to the key details that those sabers had. And this is the saber that goes with Farmer Boy Luke.
Everyone loves when we show the animation of it moving.
It's alive.
Oh my god!
So
and
you
I'm
can
always
see
curious the chat to point out any details that they see. I love how the chat is very attentive to details. So
yes.
point out what you guys see. I love when the chat points things out.
Brandon says that's insane. I agree, it is insane. I just want to hold it in my hand.
I know, right? Make the noise, poof! Come on.
Whom. That's a lot
gotta-
better than my TIE fighter.
We gotta
okay?
send you
And
one.
my
That's how I cut my
lightsaber.
veggies when I'm cooking. Just with the saber. Zoom, 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 zoom.
Just want to add to this too, like the process also early on, like it all starts with like concept in 2D. And it's just always amazing to see like when we're drawing these shapes, like especially lightsabers, they're just like cylinders with like little like accessories attached onto them, like shape wise. And then when we pass it off to the 3D team, when they start putting materials and textures and actually getting this looking 3-dimensional is always like a magical moment to actually like peek in to see what they're doing. And now it's like a 3-dimensional object you can actually feels like you can hold in real life.
It's pretty neat. It's always really fun. We're in the trenches doing this work and nitpicking, all the pixels as we're working through it. And then every so often we have an all hands with everybody in the company, all the engineers, marketing, all the support, and we get to show some of this stuff. And it's really fun to always see the expression on people's faces through the work that we're doing. So, and you guys are next.
Awesome job. 13 days. Let's go. James is counting down.
Counting.
Let's go.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ooh. Oh, this is what somebody was really close to guessing, right, Poof?
Yep, that's right. Yep, that is correct. This is the one.
So Luke, red 5.
Ooh, and if people notice the item is not a lightsaber, something different.
Pew pew.
Something new.
That's the official Star Wars gun. Whatchamacallit?
Blaster.
Blasters sounds, right? Pew pews. So this one, I think it's a good opportunity since he's in this fancy little pose for Jeff to talk a little bit about his process on what it takes to rig a character in order for animators to be able to post it and animate it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, out of my 20 plus year career, this is some of the most fun I've had on any project. And I think part of it is obviously the content that we get to work with, but also the team. I know this is a live stream, but this is what our meetings are like every day at work. Everyone's laid back, happy. Pablo doesn't always wear his wig, but
oh really? I wouldn't suspect that. What the heck?
I think I'm going to change that.
Yeah, Pablo.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to you guys. It's really awesome working with you all. So I take the 3D models that Alina makes and her team, and then we position a set of bones and pivot points throughout the body where, let's say the shoulder is going to bend or the elbow and the hands and whatnot. And then we paint these black and white weight maps. So we could say we want the upper arm to be weighted, mostly to the the shoulder humerus joint, and then the lower arm kind of blend throughout the elbow and get some of that twist through the forearm. And so that's a lot of what we do. And then we make a set of controls for the animators that they can actually grab and rotate and move. And you could grab a wrist and move it around, and the arm goes with it. We also set up the facial shapes, like the eyes and the mouth and the brows. It's quite a process. And these guys are, as they say, chunky. So there's a lot of issues where the glove will kind of overlap the elbow, and that makes it a little bit of a challenge. Or, their legs are so short and stubby, so it's a little bit hard. When you're working with a regular biped character, that's maybe more of a natural proportion. You have all this room to make things work. But on these guys, they're cute and cuddly looking, but they could be a handful when you're trying to get them to deform in the right way.
So hey, and that's a challenge. It's not just for our riggers; it's a challenge for animators too. So I designed the original Cryptoys, and with their short little legs and the stubby little fingers, and that's a running joke all the time. It's like, you want us to do what? But their legs are 2 inches. So no, that was a challenge for the riggers to get these very humanistic looking performances to be able to happen due to rigging, but the animators actually have to push that too.
Wow. And by the way, we got a couple comments on the helmet. And someone even asked, I want to say, they asked if we can zoom in on the helmet. So let's zoom in on the helmet.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
And are these Disney licensed? Yes.
Yes.
Who does the best blaster impression?
Bang, bang.
I think Poop.
There we go.
Poop, say yours. Come on.
This is soundtrack proof.
Yeah. And that's our rare.
This one's
This is
rare.
my favorite
so
skin, by the way.
30% chance of getting this.
Wow.
Favorite.
Luke, you feel it? Or Luke, Poof. Hey, Luke. Hey, that's your new name now. Everyone's name is Luke on this live stream. Are you feeling lucky? 30% chance? That's not bad odds, right?
Not bad.
30%
Nope.
chance?
You know what's funny? Working on all the Lukes, we have a technical artist whose name is Luke. So then we have to be super clear about what Luke, which Luke we're referring to, depending on the context of what we're saying.
Right.
So, Skywalker.
Coming in for
Poof, Skywalker. It does kind of vibe.
Oh, nice.
I can see that.
Nice. Well done, Harry.
All right. Moving on.
And what, by the way, the blaster is an NFT itself. Yes, the blaster is technically an item, which is a separate NFT from the character, but you will get both.
Yes. 2 in 1.
Yeah. Ooh.
Animation of the blaster, just to show the detail.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite items for sure. It's like the chonkiness of that tip. I think Wes, you worked on this one, right? Do you want to talk a little about the design aesthetic?
Yeah, it's a really cool blaster. We fidget around with how to emphasize what would be long, what would be chunky. If you look at the actual movie prop, the muzzle is actually quite long, but we decided to actually shrink that down, thicken up certain aspects of it. I liked how asymmetrical it is on both sides. It seems like it's really made to be like something that you could screw on modifications to it.
Yeah, I really like how for the bolts and everything, like we're even thinking like chonkiness down to even how we use like the bolts and things that hold everything together, and like the grip, like the spacing of those little ridges on the handle, right? So we have to view stuff about in context of the character. So if the character holding it, it has a really chunky like thick hand, right? Then when he's holding that gun, it has to feel like it fits in the same world. So this is like the stuff that is really exciting about the things that we're doing, where we're actually trying to make these items fit this like brand new aesthetic and making them all like rhyme and play together.
Yep.
I just love the design of that tip. It just feels so nice.
Hey, and this is some of the things that, again, we're in the trenches, we're doing the work, and sometimes we forget because our noses are down to the grindstone. But it's been super fun all the way from the time that this became a reality for us in working in an intellectual property like Star Wars, with Disney. It's pretty mind-blowing to us. So these are the results of a lot of love and passion and care for what we do.
And for people that are wondering, like, what kind of blasters, people are guessing what the name is. It M57? Is I think it's DL44.
Yeah, DL44 heavy blaster.
DL44 heavy blaster. Nobody even guessed that in the chat. Come on, guys. Come on.
So we do a lot of research when it comes to this, whether it's through documentation that already exists, whether it's our partners actually kind of giving us what the documentation is for each one of these items, because they care as much as we do about getting this right. It's super important for us to get all the details, even though we're stylizing and adapting the IP to our style and our brand. It's super important to us to get it right, for the fans and everybody that really knows and loves this IP.
Yeah. I want to call out that comment from Star Wars Replica about as a collector of Star Wars replicas, I can tell you that you got all the main features, right? So that's something that we always try to do with our aesthetic is we're trying to simplify it down to our simple shapes, making sure there's landmark points of like things that people recognize. So that goes for items, that goes for like characters, like for Luke, for example. When we're designing him, we have to like see like what does this character, his features, what can we call that as landmark points? So when people see it in a really simplified form, you can still understand that that's supposed to be Luke Skywalker.
So I love to hear from you guys. We can start all the way on the right side of the screen with Elena. When we let you know that you were going to be working on Luke Skywalker and Star Wars, what was like your first impression? It
was like I couldn't believe it. It's like dream come true. It's what you love, Star Wars, you grew up with, and then when you guys announced it, like we actually can do this, I like told my family. I know it was a little bit of a secret, and everyone was so excited. And it's also my dad's favorite, and he was like jumping, doing all of this. Like, it was, yes, I said it was super fun. I love it.
Awesome, thank you. I think that sentiment goes across. Wes, what do you think when we tell you get to redesign these characters?
Oh yeah, super excited about it because with Star Wars, I'm a '90s kid. I kind of grew up more with the prequels, but I've always known about the classics and of course, Vader. Who doesn't know Vader? He's like bad of all bads, right? So getting to work on these characters, just had all kind of hype. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. I will keep pinging you guys for that because I'm super curious actually to know, because it's been super fast paced since we started doing this. And like I said, everybody has their nose to the grindstone, and even though we're super happy to be doing what we're doing, oftentimes we don't really have the time and opportunity to communicate it to each other. So everybody here gets to hear it now.
Nice, I love that.
Wow.
Oh, this is the legendary Jedi Knight. 20% chance getting this in your holocron.
Wow.
Jedi Knight.
With the green lightsaber, too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this is super fun. You guys want to see that cotton?
Yeah, let's see the cotton. Let's zoom in on the
glove.
cotton. Oh, look at that. Let me do this. Wow. You can really see I can like feel the texture just looking at it.
Look at those gloves.
Those are
Look at like the seams.
Mm-hmm.
The seams, wow.
This is the kind of stuff that our artists pride themselves in having attention to detail and doing this sort of stuff, and we love it. It's not necessarily it's like, oh, we're never gonna see that. It's like, no, like it should be there in case somebody ever sees it.
Yeah.
So everybody has a lot of attention to detail and a lot of pride and care for what they're doing. So
People are noticing in the chat. I want that belt. Texture, zoom, attention to detail. The reflection of the saber is sick. Dope. Check out that manicure. Even the nails.
It's a known fact. It's a known fact that the Force keeps your nails.
Zoom
nice and
in on
sharp.
those nails.
Let's zoom in on the nails.
Oh,
Wow, look at those nails. Okay.
nice cuticle work.
Yeah, so the attention to detail, it's pretty up there.
I like the
Yeah.
hair. The wavy locks just look so good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, Pablo, kind of like yours, you know.
Yeah.
We
Pablo
modeled them
right.
after Pablo's.
I can tell. I can tell.
To adjust.
So
To adjust.
I think the red 5 is my favorite skin, but this is my favorite lightsaber.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, he doesn't like Jedi Luke, man. Like Return of the Jedi, he was in his prime. He just walked into Jabba's palace, owning that
Yeah.
place, and you're just like,
Yeah.
there's Luke all grown up, man.
I know. I have two. Probably Return of the Jedi and Rogue One are my two ultimate favorites.
Yeah.
Rogue One's
You
so
know,
good. Yeah.
super good. So, Jeff, that being said, you know, what was your take when we told you get to work in Star Wars?
I was jacked, man. I mean, growing up watching visual effects, watching Star Wars as a kid, I like Alina said, this is what every CG VFX artist wants to work, or it's probably one of the main reasons why we all got into doing what we do.
Mhm.
So then when you brought that up, it was like, holy crap. And then you just want to go tell everybody, but you can't.
Yeah.
It's a secret. So it's like, hey, what are you working on? Some cool stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome, man. I still love it.
Hey, and for everybody here, Jeff doesn't like to say it out loud, but Mr. here is a rock star who's worked at Blue Skies, DreamWorks, Disney Animation too. I can't recall. It's like pretty much any major studio, major animation movie that you've seen, Jeff most likely worked on it.
Let's go, Jeff.
Rockstar.
Yeah.
Hype up Jeff in the chat. Come on.
Let's go,
I'm gonna start turning red.
I know, right? I'm just putting all you guys in the spot. All right. Let's see Jedi Knight Saber.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Ooh.
Can we say look at that cotton with the hardware object too?
Look at that cotton.
Look at that.
Yeah, so this is also our generalist, and our TAs do an awesome job. Again, attention to detail, just making sure that we have the proper reflections, the proper materials. A lot of this stuff, we call it texturing and surfacing. I mean, in texturing is the actual coloration of pixels that goes on an object, and surfacing is actually the material properties of that object, whether it's shiny, whether it's reflective, whether it's more diffuse, whether it's transparent, and all those little things have to be tweaked to make a final material. And this is the result of it, and this is why we get the detail we get.
It's beautiful.
So good.
Shiny.
Shiny.
I know. So shiny. So shiny. Who polished that? Freshly polished.
It's very like minimal in my eyes, like those slim wallets compared to like the other lightsabers, where like they kind of feel chunky and you want to like hold them and they fill out your hand. This one feels like nice and slim, sleek. I like that.
Hey, I gotta say, and I still don't feel like fully prepared, but I really didn't know much about lightsabers until this project. We've gotten to learn so much about lightsabers and the differences from the different episodes, the different movies, different shows that exist in the Star Wars lore.
And do the items come in separate rarities? The items are attached to the characters, so this is attached to the rarity we just showed you of the legendary Jedi Knight. This saber will come with that. It's automatically attached. Jason said, listening to you all talk about details and textures and everything showcases the top tier talent on this team.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Jason. And shout out to Jason. He literally films a video like every single day, posts it on YouTube, his YouTube channel with his son, opening a cube every day.
Wow.
Which,
That's
Jason,
awesome.
I love watching those, by the way. And I love seeing yours and your kid's expression every single time you open one. One of my must, or I look forward to.
Aw.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, I'm gonna showcase Jonathan here. Star Wars. What do you think when we first gave you the news about this is what we do next?
Oh man, it was such a special experience because I've done Star Wars packages for toys in the past, but it's very different when it's like you get to actually kind of almost put your own take on it. So early on, we were able to like do all these Luke exploration sketches and see what like Star Wars looks like for Crypt toys, right? So that entire process of exploring a lot of the stuff, and there's a lot of stuff we can't show you, but there's a lot of cool stuff that came up within those discussions. And how do we play with Star Wars like in the Crypt toys like way, right? How does this look like? And I think that whole experience was just like, it was a lot of work, but at the same time, it was like, wow, I'm actually getting to do stuff with Luke Skywalker, and it's going to be like official, right? So I think that was a really cool experience for me personally.
And we can't wait. This is just the beginning of everything that we have to show you guys building up to the release of these characters. So that's a little mwahaha moment. But there's so much more that looks so good, and I can't wait for the rest of the artists that we have in the team to be able to speak to their part on what they did in those parts. So
yeah, we literally haven't even shown animation, which is crazy to think.
But look, it moves.
Well, right, yeah, technically, okay. This is technically animation.
No.
Yeah.
No. Here we go. Next.
Yeah.
Oh,
Woo.
snap. Jedi Master Luke. 9% chance of getting this. This is our Grail Rarity. 9% chance of getting this.
Wow.
So this is why earlier I said that Wes had a screen full of like all the different ages and episodes and movies that that Luke went through, and through the variations, because we wanted to get to Jedi Master, which is a much older, Luke. And Wes, you want to talk a little bit about your interpretation for this one?
Actually, Jonathan worked on this one.
Oh, there you go. Jonathan.
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars, I mean, this whole collab is really interesting because it's a lot of our stuff actually is kind of like it piggybacks off of other concepts before it. So Wes did a lot of really cool stuff for Motu, right, with like He-Man and that entire line. So Luke Skywalker was very like in line with that, right? So we basically take like the Zufo characters, all the other characters we have, making sure they all fit within the same world. And this one specifically, it's really interesting because he has a robo hand, if you guys notice. And that hand on its own, it needed its own turnaround and everything. And I feel like, Olena, you can speak to the really crazy work you did on that one. That came out so good.
Yeah, this one was definitely interesting. Started with his look overall. So I tried to make him look older, but still with our design. And first, when I added all this facial hair, we laughed because he looks like still very young, like 15 years old with a beard. So I had to continue working, and he has a little bit like facial lines, but not too much. So he looks older, but still cute. Can we say that? All this wisdom. And his hand was a separated challenge because all the little parts, it's all like moving on its own. So when I was modeling, I animated it as well. So let's see how it's going. So then later on, when animators work on it, after Jeff recall of this, I didn't want them to have problems and hate me. So I animated myself a little bit as well. And so it has all of the details, little parts, and Knuckles has 2 parts, so everything is moving like it's in real life, but it's still a toy. And so we gave a lot of work to this part. Yeah.
Whoa.
It's got the strongest grip on that lightsaber with that robo hand.
Elena's a boss.
Yes, she
is. Yeah, the reflections too, like on the lightsaber shining on top of that hand.
I love the reflections. Yeah, so nice.
There's something here that it's really fun because not only we get to adapt its IP to our style, we get to stay as true as possible to reality at the same time that we're in the digital space, right? So in the digital space, we can do so much, when it comes to the shapes, the rig animation, effects, anything that we can do versus a physical toy. So we're in this wonderful peanut butter jelly middle sandwich of what we get to do and what we can do with this.
This one might be my favorite one. I feel like I just love the white hair. Like,
I can't pick a favorite in anything we do. Every time a new one comes out, I'm like, this was my favorite, and then the next one comes out, it's like, this was my favorite, and then at the end of the project, so they're all my favorites.
I feel the same way. I feel like sometimes like they all kind of complement each other, right? It's like it's almost like this is my favorite because I like this in context with this character and this character. So it's really hard to choose sometimes.
Pablo, you want to talk a little bit about this texture work?
Pablo?
Oh, Elena painted this one.
Elena did this one.
Elena.
Sorry. And this is not cotton, by the way. What do we call this?
Like a muslin.
Elena, want to talk a little bit about this so that, the community gets to know what went into it?
Yeah. So I was, I'm trying to think what was the challenge. I think there is no challenges. It was just very exciting, and try to find different type of materials. I look at how it was in the movie, and I try to find the best look for the toy, but still look kind of like a movie. Like something would work for us. And I came up with this. I tried a lot of different variation, and yeah, that's what we have now.
So, and for those of you that are interested in the process too, we also work with a software where we can bring the 3D model onto that software, and then we paint directly on top of it. In the past, we had to do it through Photoshop. We create something called a UV, which basically flattens the whole thing out, and then we paint the textures, apply them to the character, see what worked, see what didn't, bring it back to Photoshop, and it was a lot of back and forth, where today's software is super cool in that sense, that allows us to actually paint directly onto the characters as different textures and materials.
Looks like one of the wise men.
Yeah, all of his layers of clothing were really tough to get to deform correctly. And a lot of times the visual effects, you'd use like a cloth sim or something like that to get that to move right. But we're building these things for real-time game engine. So we have to use as few joints as possible to move this stuff. We also want it to look good. So it's definitely that, I think, was one of the toughest things about characters like Master Luke.
Yep. And that's a good call out too. To be able to do what we're doing, it's a balancing act of how big are the textures versus how many polygons we can use in a character versus how many joints to create the deformations of the character, to create smooth versus very blocky look and movement. So everything, it's a constant juggling. If we put a little bit more here, that means we have to take away somewhere else. Right.
The Jedi robe. I stand corrected. The Jedi robes.
Robes, sir.
Someone's always gonna call you out in the chat. That's why we like the chat. Thanks, guys.
And then for his lightsaber, I actually don't have a Lupin movie, but I have some critical renders.
Is that like knurling on the middle section? Those two like stripes?
Knurling. I don't think I know that word.
Like, I don't know, like the little, like on the old mag lights. Remember, like the handles had like that cross kind of.
Oh, look at that.
It's like a little.
How's that?
Grippy.
Yep.
Grippy.
Groupy stuff.
That looks like it helps for grip.
That one I understand, the groupy stuff.
Okay, groupie.
The groupy grooves.
Good eye, Jeff. Only on that one, Harry said.
So Harry's our lightsaber specialist at this point, with how much detail went through each one of these. Even the ones that look similar, there are slight differences between the variations that happen during the progression of the lore through the movies and the different episodes, and those are represented here.
That's my favorite saber, Jay Easy said.
All right, let's see. There's another angle of it.
Oh, the Ultra Grail hologram, Luke.
Awesome.
1% chance of getting this. 1%.
Wow.
How
Oh my
lucky does everyone feel in the chat? 1% chance. Can you do it? There's
Wow.
300. Oh wait, how many? Poof, 300 of these, or
It's
100?
100 per character.
Okay, so 100 of these specifically.
Hey, but I always like to say this. In the past, anytime an Ultra Grail comes into the picture, it's the single one, right? We're doing a 1%.
Right.
So we're still working in the singles, but in percentages now. So more people actually get an opportunity to get in one of these.
Right. It used to be that it was only one. Only one. But now, okay, you do have a better chance.
There
For
can
sure.
be only one.
So, oh, somebody had asked, how did you decide on the final pose and expression? It's a good question.
Nice.
So we don't have any of the animators here today, so I'll do my best to speak in their behalf. We actually have multiple poses. This is just the one that we're showing right this second, and I can't remember if this is a pose that basically will go on the website for you guys to review, or there's another one. We have multiple poses for these characters, and then we have animation for the unboxings for these characters that kind of represent their own character personalities as well as the items that they're carrying.
Nice. So there's multiple poses.
Yes.
Not just one. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
There's multiple poses, and again, what we were saying before with these guys being 3D, Jeff rigging them, and basically the whole process is that now we can grab this guy and it's basically a puppet. We can pose it in whichever way, and we already have a process. We have a lighting scenario or an effects. In this case, this is a special effect that goes into the whole character as a whole to just create that hologram. This was created by our technical artists, basically after the whole process is there, then we can just go repose him, put him in that lighting scene, and take a new render or a new capture from our game engine.
Nice. So the hologram. Oh, and by the way, just a quick answer. So there's not one of ones because we made these a little more accessible, so that more people are able to get them, not just one person. Just to answer that. But the hologram. So what? I'm just curious, like especially for I guess the 3D modeling of a hologram, like it seems so different from like all the other ones that we saw. Is this harder, or how is it different from modeling the other characters?
So it's slightly different in the sense that, especially for this specific line, each character, we have 15 characters, and each character is a different one. The heads, you will notice, are basically the same, but their bodies, just because of the clothing that they're wearing, they're going to vary. So each character is its own model. For this particular one, this is Jedi Knight Luke. This is the holograms of the Ultra Grails are the only characters that basically repeat. And we decided on whichever one we thought was going to be the most epic one to represent in this form. And then the model stays the same, but the special effect, the texture and the surfacing, all the materials that we talked about a minute ago, is what comes into play in creating the look of them.
That's awesome. And by the way, Wes, I want to respect your time. I know you were pressed for time, so I wanted to let you say bye to the people.
Bye, Wes.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Wes. We really appreciate you.
Thanks
See
for
you
joining us, Wes.
Good stream. Bye.
May the force be with you.
Yeah, you had to say that in the end. Any alpha on the unboxing experience? We have not
Yes.
showed that yet, Jay Easy.
There will be an unboxing of
Plenty
characters
alpha to show, but
with
not on this live
animation.
stream. Not yet. Not yet.
All we can say at this time is that we're all extremely proud of the work that this team put together for this unboxing, and it's gonna be like something nobody's seen before.
Can't wait.
I know. I can't believe.
Can't
I feel
wait.
like it's happening so fast. Like, okay, so now that everyone has seen all of them, I do want to ask the chat what their favorite is. Like, I know we don't really have favorites. I mean, sometimes we do have favorites, but what's the chat's favorite?
Okay, Crypto.
Oh, what's
I
up?
love
What's up,
stuff
Kay?
dedication. I can tell from her background she's clearly streaming from a galaxy far, far away.
I am. I'm in another dimension.
Yes.
Just tuning in to this. What are your favorite character designs? Don't ask Freddie this question. He doesn't have an answer for that. All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
I love all my kids.
This one, Richard said this one's his favorite.
Yeah.
Did you know Asset says I was late showing up? Can we get a quick look at each one again? Just a flash through, Freddie?
Yes.
We can.
Oh yeah. Let's do it.
This is common.
Common, farm
So
boy,
this is common, rare,
red 5,
legendary,
Jedi Knight,
Grail,
Jedi Master,
and Ultra Grail.
Holocron. All right, put your. Okay, we got a lot of people saying their favorites. Okay, so Darth Vader is up for grabs too. All right, Grail Darth. Someone said Rebel Alliance Luke is my favorite.
Yes.
Legendary Luke with the green lightsaber. I think Jedi Master nails it. Awesome presence. Old Man Luke. Yeah, that's a good name. Old Man Luke. Let's just refer to him as that. I like that. The work that went into every character truly shows.
Thank you.
Great compliment.
Thanks,
I
Tito.
don't know. I think I'm a poof. I think I'm gonna lean more towards Red 5 Luke on
That's
this
good.
one, just because I love all things fly. You know,
Yeah.
anything that flies, I'm for.
That's good.
And Ultra Girl is based off what model? Crypto DZ asked.
Jedi Knight, which is our legendary.
Jedi Knight. How many mints are there? 30,000 total in this drop. 10,000 per character.
I want to say, Freddie,
upstairs.
when I found out that we were doing Star Wars personally, because I don't work on the art, but like we have to tell the people these things eventually. So I was like, oh man, I need to watch. I've seen the movies, but I need to go back. I need to refresh. I need to get all these details. So eventually I just started watching, and then there would be random times where I would be very hooked into Star Wars, and people would put Star Wars gifts in the chat and Discord, and I'd be like, nope, can't do it. Can't give in to the. I so badly wanted to post, Star Wars gifts back, but it was really a challenge to like not give anything away the whole time. But it's so awesome. What like a dream. It is really cool. There was definitely a moment somewhere through some of the movies I was watching where I would just stop and be like, wow, we're actually working on some of these characters. Like, it's just crazy. It was awesome.
I know it's really fun, and thanks for that. I really appreciate it. And again, I love to hear everybody's stories, not just hearing the team, but from the chat too. I love the live streams, and by the way, I do watch them all. I love the live streams where we have community members kind of like introducing themselves and saying why they love what we're doing and how they fell into it. I love to hear people's stories, and how they got to where they are and why they're here too. So, thank you.
I will say, I like this. As the wise man, Han Solo said, never tell me the odds. Exactly. You guys will get lucky, don't worry. Okay, I've seen a couple questions in the chat. What time? We have not announced a time, but when we do, you'll know because we'll be blasting it everywhere. So stay tuned, but we have not announced that yet. Love that each character is completely different. It makes this collectible experience for something digital more fun. Awesome.
Good
Can't wait to mint these for me and my kids. Grail Icarus
Love
family. Love that. I need a time. Soon.
Imminent.
Calling off work that day. Okay. Wow, we got people dedicated. Calling off work. Okay. Are you guys holding your breath for other things you're working on? You'll never know. You will never know because we're so good at hiding things, right? You just won't know. Took off the 24th already. Wow, James is literally ready to go.
Nice.
Locked and loaded. Wow, that's dedication right there.
Nice.
What if I have to work just following James' shoes? Clearly.
It's more important.
Maybe we can print off one of those things like they do for the Super Bowl, where like you hand this to your boss and it's just like filled out template of like this is why I'm gonna be slow today at work because of the Super Bowl last night.
Just gotta save your lunch break just in case. And watch them the drops at 8 at night. It's like I haven't eaten lunch yet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the cost of mint. So you buy a holocron and then it contains a surprise character. And Jenny, thank you. Yeah, It's $39.99, and then 5% fee for credit or debit card. But awesome. I feel like we have covered a lot with the art team. We've been live for an hour, and I wanted to respect everyone's time. An hour. Luke, Rarities, if you guys have more questions, ask me and Poop in the Discord. We'll be in there. But we'll also do a separate Q&A. I think we're going to get Will, our CEO, on for a separate Q&A at another time. Mm-hmm. But thank you, Olena. Thank you, Pablo, a.k.a. Luke. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Freddie. And thank you, Poop, for being on this live stream tonight. This was a lot of fun. I feel like it flew by. Already an hour.
I know. I can't believe it's been an hour already.
I know, right?
Yep.
I survived.
Thank you to everyone from the art team who joined us, and thank you to everyone in the chat as well. You guys could be anywhere, and you choose to hang out with us, so we love that. Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you, guys.
Congrats. All right, thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you in the next live stream next week for Princess Leia reveals. All right, where's my clapper?
Maybe I'll come dressed as Princess Leia.
Yeah. Okay,
we gotta get everybody the
we have to do
the buns.
Okay, I'm so down for that. Yo, let's cosplay Princess Leia.
All right,
totally.
We're gonna make it happen.
All right.